Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest. As you know, my intro is an audio clip from Zoolander, voiced by Jerry Stiller. One of my favorite audio clips of all time, and that's why I have it on our podcast to set the mood. Anyway, I wanted to pay tribute to him as he recently passed away on May 11th. Great actor with over 115 IMDb credits. He worked in the TV industry in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And of course, as the unforgettable role of George Costanza's father, Frank Costanza. Jerry Seinfeld said of him when he was on his show, "We never gave Jerry Stiller a note. I never adjusted his performance once. Whatever he did, that's it. We're putting that out there. I don't know why he did it like that. I don't know why he screamed on that line. It doesn't matter. It's funny. So funny. I'm such a dedicated believer in if it's funny, don't touch it. I don't care why it's funny. I don't care what the line was supposed to be. He said it that way. We're doing it that way." Take a listen to some of my favorite sound bites of Jerry's, beginning with a blooper when Julia Louis-Dreyfus on the set of Seinfeld couldn't stop laughing at one of Jerry's lines as he delivered it. "I will miss him. We will all miss him." Take a listen.
Who put you up to this? Was it her?
All right, wait a minute. I think you've got it backwards.
My George isn't clever enough to hatch a scheme like this.
You got that right.
The hell does that mean? What the hell does that...
Come on. Okay, let's go. That means whatever the hell you want it to mean.
You're saying you want a piece of me? You saying you want a piece of me?
Say that one more time.
You saying you want a piece of me? You saying you want a piece of me?
I can drop you like a bag of dirt.
You want a piece of me? You got it! Ah! Many Christmases ago, I went to buy a doll for my son. I reached for the last one they had, but so did another man. As I rained blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way. What happened to the doll? It was destroyed. But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.
That must have been some kind of doll.
She was. And at the Festivus dinner, you gather your family around and tell them all the ways they have disappointed you over the past year.
And is there a tree?
No, instead there's a pole. Requires no decoration. I find tinsel distracting.
Frank, this new holiday of yours is scratching me right where I itch.
Let's do it then. Festivus is back. I'll get the pole out of the crawl's face.
Today we are reviewing 2014's Best Picture nominee, The Imitation Game. Joining me are my reoccurring guests, Cole and Taylor. Enjoy our take on this picture.
Who are you?
Alan Turing.
This war, we're not winning it. Break the code, we have a chance.
Enigma is the greatest encryption device in history. It is unbreakable.
Based on the incredible true story.
What if only a machine can defeat another machine?
You do not have to do this alone.
You've got more secrets than the best of them.
It's a superb thriller, 5 stars.
My machine will work.
The world is an infinitely better place because of you.
The Imitation Game, in cinemas November 14th.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Welcome to episode 9 of the podcast of...
You don't seem to be sure about what you're recording.
Well, it changes all the time. So the Popcorn Priests podcast of our monthly screening of Movie of the Month Club. We screened today Taylor's pick of the Imitation Game.
He was nominated for this in Budapest, but he won Grand Budapest Hotel.
Who was nominated?
The composer.
Alexandre Desplat.
Desplat. So, this came out in 2014, nominated for Best Picture. And Birdman won instead.
Mm-hmm.
Did it?
Yeah, Birdman won. Best Director and Movie. And something else.
Rated PG-13.
The cinematography.
Talks about the
Only one it deserved.
chronicling of the mathematician Alan Turing's role in successfully
and Foxcatcher was that year.
cracking the Enigma code. We have split
Theories of everything.
well, likes and dislikes from both Cole and Taylor, my guests today. Would you like to elaborate on what you thought of it, Cole?
Well, being someone into computers, I was more hoping
geek.
to discover, like the kind of background behind the computers and just how smart of a man he really was, how machines actually worked, but it wouldn't work for mainstream audiences. People would just get bored. So they went more with the human emotion element of it, and it just kind of
For a Hollywood production, they did have to change some things.
yeah. They yank at your emotional heartstrings more than trying to pick your brain. So that's just kind of where I was let down. There could have been a whole lot more they could have explored, but it wouldn't have worked for the Academy Awards and getting people interested. But Cumberbatch is a really good actor. What saves it, basically. He's interesting to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I like Mark Strong's performance too.
And you can pretty much take Tywin Lannister and you just put him in a military suit and it's the same character instead of running an empire.
Just like dressing people down, being all pissed.
Just being a dick.
Making everyone feel inferior and incompetent.
Yeah, it's just he's wearing a different uniform in this movie is all it is.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Do you think his sexual preference was kind of exploited in this a little more than?
Well, yeah,
I don't think so, and that's because of the way that his story ends and what happens to him. If he lived a full life and it was just kind of this weird thing, it was a couple of scandals, but where it ends in this very specific way with his life being ruined. You can't just have that be like out of nowhere without explaining that, exploring that.
Well,
asking questions about.
It makes sense though because it's just that juxtaposition of just violence against those who people love violence and picking on the weaker, and so you've got the war going on in the background where the war's over and everyone's people its own citizens are persecuting for being gay with therapy and being violent towards them and treating them differently, and it's just that whole kind of what they wanted to play off of more instead of like code breaking and things like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that part as much as the strong like comparison between when he was being interrogated by the cop about like comparing the to the machine.
That was a good scene.
You like that?
I mean, you can certainly.
I thought it was really heavy-handed.
If you wanted to look at it that way, but the way that he ends that with like, well, then you can't help me because it says a lot about his character and how he feels about himself. Like that he was clearly self-loathing and conflicted about being a homosexual and felt ashamed of it. He wasn't like
it makes
he
sense.
he felt oppressed by it, and there's like an aspect of his humanity that like
wanting everyone to be only with women.
Also the belief that everyone would be better if everyone's the same. It's nonsense. It's not something that we believe, but it's something that we act on. Like when people are different, like. The world is clearly better when like there's
when everyone
a lot of different like
the same.
types of people.
So, I mean, it's heavy-handed, but it's for the audience. But it kind of makes sense. And
like Tomorrowland.
Exactly. And there's a reason why they couldn't go full Tomorrowland because people get angry and it doesn't make money.
I just don't like the fact that he's defined by his homosexuality. Like I wanted to like Cole's
that's what drives me crazy is it's so focused on. But it makes sense.
Like he's such a brilliant person. Like why can't we focus on?
That's why he ended up being arrested, losing his job, and being sentenced to chemical
castration.
Treatment.
But that's what I
is that if society at that time could have only focused on that, let him be his own thing. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Why didn't they? That's
what how it happened.
Well, I know that's not why it happened
because it's human ignorance. Yeah, it's just the tides of evolution turn slowly, and so it's just like if they'd let him be, who knows what else he could have invented or how much faster technology would have advanced. But they don't focus on how smart he is. They focus on this shouldn't be, so let's try and change him.
And it is interesting to wonder if that wasn't a secret, what he had done, if he would have been treated differently by the government, by the law, if there would have been that's another thing that's really
the war
sad irony about it.
The war wouldn't have been won
if he had been if it was more public knowledge how influential and how much he'd assisted the war effort. There would have been an outcry at him being treated that way. So it's there's a lot of I want to read the book it's based on. But
yeah, I do too. The good would have outweighed the bad, but
it's an interesting for what this is and what a movie can be. I don't think it could be done better. You could have a bunch of math proofs and graph theory, which is they kind of hint at, but you wouldn't be able to win over a big audience with that. You wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be able to inform them how wars are not just fought through force of arms. They're a battle of intelligence and development and science. It's if you did a movie about the Manhattan Project, that would be something comparable to this.
Well, there's a TV show about it, or a TV series called it's called.
See, and that that's another situation where
it's about the Manhattan Project.
There's really thorny ethical issues with that, especially after they crack it and what that put the position that puts a human in having that much power, as even when the scientists handed the keys to destroying the world to the governments when they finished the atomic bomb.
There's a good Einstein book about that, about just his professors were disappearing when they were going to Los Alamos to work on the atomic bomb, and even decades before they finally weaponized it, everyone knew how scary and how deadly it was going to be, and nobody wanted any part of it.
Everyone knew that the theory supported it being. So it's a really interesting. But yeah, again, it's for what this is, it couldn't be better.
It's scary. It's scary to watch this. I mean, where the Soviets were our allies, and how quickly it turned into the Cold War 10 years later. I mean, in the 50s, and everyone's turning against each other, thinking they're communists, and everyone's getting hanged and blacklisted, and just how quickly the tides turn.
So that thing is that's why his life fell apart. It was the initial, at least from the premise given in this, is distrust and belief that he could be Soviet, and then you find out something that by today's standards would be pretty innocuous, but by the standards of the 50s destroyed his life and his career.
It fits the times perfectly, because all you had to do was prefer men over women, and that was the one. Even in America, the beginners, where you had the Vice Squad or the Moral Squad or whatever, moral. I can't think of the name of the unit it had back in the day that would go around just looking for people engaging in activity like that to turn them in.
Well,
it brings up. The movie is a hotbed of topics.
The movie makes you think, and that's
it's the best kind of movie.
It doesn't it doesn't answer everything. It doesn't say you should feel this way, but you should think, about how other people are treated.
I should think that I don't like Keira Knightley is what I should think.
He's fine in there.
She's a valuable addition to the Hollywood community.
She's probably more attractive than the actual lady was.
Just like Alan Turing said, I cannot like Keira Knightley, and you can like Keira Knightley. Okay, I don't like Keira Knightley, so please don't.
It's I'm not going to turn you in.
Yeah, don't turn me in.
I think I'm going to have to choose Anna Karina for my pick
Oh,
in June.
please do not.
Just so there's 2.5 hours over the years.
Oh, no.
What other great starring roles with Keira Knightley?
I think we should do the Pirates trilogy.
Oh, no. One of those movies is good, the rest are trash.
Yeah, one is good.
I like the second one. The third one sucks, but the second one's good.
No, they're all trash.
The first one's
fun.
good.
The
Yeah.
rest are trash.
All right. Overall, I will save my comments to last. But what would you rate this, Mr. Brains?
I'd say 4 stars. I liked it just as much as I.
4 out of 4.
Yeah, high rating.
High rating.
It was well done, and they put money into it, and I mean everyone gave it their best, and it turned out really good. It's definitely not something to avoid.
Excellent. Taylor, your
Whatever
take?
My highest rating is this gets that. This gets it. I liked it a lot. I like math a lot.
Can go up, it'll do that.
I like the mastery of the mind over the world.
All it came down to was Heil Hitler in order to defeat the Nazis.
I sympathize with people who are treated differently and are weird. It's an underdog story.
Are you coming out here, Taylor?
No, I wish I were smart as Alan Turing.
Chris,
I would take being homosexual for that. Like that trade off would be okay.
Oh hell yeah!
Unfortunately, that's not an option, but I would totally I would pick it.
I'd bend over. If
Yeah,
I was
it's
that
just
smart.
like
Oh, jeez.
like if you had to pull a lever, it's like be super smart, but be kind of an outcast, and hated by a lot of people. But I would be super smart though.
Even if the lever was shaped like a male phallus, I'd still pull that lever.
All right. Well, jeez. I give this a medium bucket. I think it's really great. You should see it, but not my top rating, but very high for sure. And
great soundtrack. Dude.
Great soundtrack. Great I agree. I don't know if I would revisit this multiple times, but it's definitely something that should be on your list.
Beautiful Mind good. I saw it as a kid. I don't know.
Not that great.
I was trying to think of like other movies, like with mathematicians as the main character.
It's kind of it's like this, where it's really trying to like.
That movie has like some weird stuff in it, though.
It's
like,
weird, but it's one of those where it's really trying to. It's really put the Hollywood rigor, where it's like really feel bad for this guy, really sympathize with him, feel bad for him because of how tortured he was, and having, it's really that it shouldn't have won what it won because of everything else that came out of it.
Everything, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. The films that came out around it, like all the focus was on, this big budget Ron Howard movie when there was like Mulholland Drive and there was Gosford Park.
That wasn't gonna win.
Well, no, that's the thing. There were so many other good films around that time that just kind of. It shouldn't have won what it won.
Never make it with the mainstream.
Also, by the way, for our one listener out there who's probably my mom, I'm looking into getting mics for all of us so we can have mics pinned to our shirts or some kind of better mic system. So you have to turn the volume up pretty loud, so I apologize for that. But I'm working on it.
Gotta mix it
one at a time. I'm getting good content first.
We're all heavy smokers, so we all have deep baritone voices.
We should all speak like we're on NPR. It's like, thank you, welcome. We guys is the Movie of the Month Club.
No, you have to talk a little bit louder, even though we're going to wake up my twins.
We don't believe in humor or laughter, so straightforward, serious.
All about soft, calming voices, logical inquiry.
Yes, exactly. That's how it should be. Laughter is not allowed. Stop it right now. Thank you. This is a serious topic.
It is of the devil. Do not laugh.
I'm going to rip out my switchblade and slash your tires, so help me God if you keep laughing and ruining this broadcast. I swear you'll regret it. I've warned you before.
This is fresh air.
All right, any parting thoughts from either of you?
I don't know how Terry Gross makes an efficient podcast week after week. Fresh Air sounds so boring. Even the title just sounds horrible.
Fresh Air is great. Shame on you.
That's what I like about this. We're polarized in many ways, but we all can come together and watch films, which is
about Fresh Air. How dare you?
Which is
Terry
good.
Gross is a national.
All right, all right. With that, I think we shall say goodbye until next time. Thank you very much. This is the Popcorn Priest signing out.